The girl was shocked to discover that all the gold bricks filling the house were actually her grandmother's private savings. The wealth was so much that it was comparable to half the national treasury. However, her grandmother calmly told her that the money was all earned after she traveled through time, and now she wanted to give all of it to the girl in one go, only because she was about to return to her original world. She turned around and put on a formal dress she had never worn before, then stood quietly under a tree full of blooming pear blossoms. The girl broke down instantly and hugged her grandmother tightly, but the melody of return had already started playing. The grandmother was gradually surrounded by snow-white pear blossoms and finally disappeared in this world. In fact, the girl had long known that her grandmother was someone who had traveled to this world from another dimension. For her entire life, the grandmother had adhered to the belief of one person for a lifetime, monogamy for life. Back then, her grandfather had begged for an imperial edict relying on his military merits and swore never to let her down. For 40 years, on every anniversary, he always remembered to dote on her so much that she became a legend in the entire capital city. The girl had also dreamed of such a love. On the day her fiancé proposed, he also swore never to take a concubine and to love only her. Unexpectedly, after her grandfather returned home from winning a battle, everything changed completely. He directly brought a young woman into the mansion and opened his mouth to ask to take her as a concubine. Her grandmother was completely stunned and froze in place, but her grandfather suddenly turned hostile, saying that he had endured her for 40 years and had had enough of her modern ideas. Her son and daughter-in-law all knelt down and begged the grandmother to compromise. Only the girl firmly stood up for her. The aunt, the young woman brought in, took the opportunity to establish her authority and randomly accused the girl of being unruly. Her grandfather even raised his hand as if to hit the girl. Fortunately, the grandmother arrived just in time, took the girl by the hand and left directly. Unexpectedly, the grandfather couldn't save his face and took people to violently ransack the grandmother's room. The grandmother was completely disheartened. She handed over the position of the head mistress of the household and no longer wanted to take care of the family. Finally, she took the girl into the secret warehouse. The gold and silver filling the room shocked the girl speechless. It turned out that the entire family had been supported by the grandmother's private property, and what was even more unexpected was that she left all of it to the girl. The girl burst into tears and hugged her grandmother tightly. At that moment, the grandfather suddenly woke up from a nightmare, as if having a premonition that his grandmother was going to leave him. He wept and called out her name, then rushed to the courtyard like a madman.